Okay, so we back out here with another version 3, Lego Transformers Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. Let's go.
Yeah, boy.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Say here. Let's get right into it. Alright, so we back out here in these YouTube streets. Now we really out here in these YouTube alleyways, bro. Back out here in these YouTube trenches. Yeah, so we out here in these YouTube trenches with the new and improved Transformers Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, which is a big step up from the version 2, and compared to the version 1, you know what? We gonna act like that version 1 ain't even happened. Bro, what version 1? And of course, with this updated version of Optimus Prime, we have the newly designed humanoid face without the battle mask, a newly designed crispy looking Energon battle blade, and a newly designed Energon battle axe.
Nice.
Can I get a sheesh, please? Now, this version of Optimus Prime is actually based off of the early concept art, which was released before the actual R.O.T.B movie came out, and it featured this really colorful and cartoony looking version of Prime, which I really liked, and I was hoping that they went with that version in the actual movie, but unfortunately they went with a more dull color scheme, probably to make Prime look more realistic. So I say all that to say that's the reason I went with the yellow plating on the front of the hip section there, as opposed to leaving it light or dark gray like it actually is in the movie. Now, coming back to the face here, I like this face so much more than the design that I used for the version 2, because the version 2 head sculpt was good, but it really just looked like a 2007 version of Optimus Prime stuck on a R.O.T.B Optimus Prime body, whereas the R.O.T.B Optimus Prime head sculpt is actually its own design in it of itself.
Oh.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the scale of this Optimus Prime, because this one is 9 inches, whereas the previous version was about 10.5 inches. And because that version was so much larger, the face looked a lot longer, whereas the R.O.T.B Optimus Prime head sculpt is a bit shorter and stubbier looking. So I'm definitely hyped about the improvements in terms of the head accuracy here. But on top of that update, we've also got the division in the chest now.
Yeah, boy.
Better overall proportions and detailing, a more movie accurate waist and midsection, better articulation, and of course... Well, you know what? I'ma keep it a buck. The kibble management on the previous version was a little better, but we still improved all those other things significantly. And of course, we couldn't go through all of these improvements without at least showing a glimpse of the newly designed R.O.T.B arm cannon, and the newly designed R.O.T.B Prime head sculpt with the battle mask on. Now, just on a quick side note, if you are interested in having me build and review your favorite Lego Transformers or mechs on the channel here, consider becoming a Super Say. And when you become a member, you also get access to all of my instructions, so the link for that is in the description. Okay, now taking a look at this Prime's vehicle mode here, you know, the version 2's vehicle mode was actually better, but only because it was larger. So really the thing that I'm noticing with this vehicle mode is just that large stripe that goes across the side of Prime's vehicle mode here is not as prominent as it was with the previous version. And that's because the other version had like an inch more of space for me to actually sculpt out that line and make it look movie accurate. Whereas since this version is so much smaller, there's not that much room to sculpt out the line and make it curve up across the side of the vehicle as cleanly. On top of that, the back portion of this vehicle mode is a tad bit sloppier than the back portion on that version 2 as well. But peep game, I made those sacrifices because personally, I'd rather have this insanely good looking robot mode with this still really good looking vehicle mode than have this slightly better looking vehicle mode with this wonky looking robot mode. And that's one of the hardest parts of designing Lego Transformers, is deciding what you want to sacrifice in what mode, because there's inevitably times where you'll have to sacrifice certain accuracies in either the vehicle mode or the robot mode in order to get the transformation to work successfully. But you know what? I'll sidestep that statement by saying the better you get at building, the less compromises you'll even have to make, and when you do make them, they'll be a lot less noticeable. So while I was designing this Prime's robot mode, I realized, okay, if I want this Prime's robot mode to look as detailed as possible, I'm going to have to up the complexity and make it so that a lot more pieces than before actually move into different locations. So in order to do that, I realized, okay, I'm going to have to sacrifice just a bit of that super clean, super smooth, and movie accurate vehicle mode that the version 2 sported in order to get an overall more accurate result for this build here. So that's why you'll see the vehicle mode for this build still looks good, but it sports a lot more crevices and seams and has a bit more of an abstract look than that previous version's vehicle mode did. Now, we could talk updates for days, but if you really want to see a bunch of major structural updates that I made to this Prime in order to get it to this level of accuracy, you're going to want to check out my Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime version 3 review, where I covered in depth all of those structural changes and exactly how I did them. So I'll leave the link to that video at the end of this one. And if you're interested in purchasing some cool Say merch, I've got the link to my shop in the description where I sell shirts, sweaters, hoodies, and mugs.